What is happening, people? It is Brian Alsruhe with NEVERsate.com, and welcome to this month's training video. It has been way too long since I put up a training video for you guys, and I apologize. I've kind of been in a sprint around my land because once the snow finally thawed out and went away, the springtime is coming on strong, and there's so many things that I want to get done before the green kind of terror ends up taking over everything and I can no longer fight back all the stickers and everything else. So right now I'm building a lot of trails and doing a lot of work down the river. Some conservation things starting strong. Anyway, I have been doing a lot of that kind of stuff. And by the time that I get to my workouts, most time I am limited on time and I'm just trying to get through them. The last thing I want to do is lug around a video camera and show you guys my sad face. But here we are, and hopefully back to a more regular basis. Now, before we get into training, I do have two announcements that are pretty cool. The first of which is that we are coming out with new t-shirts. It has been a year, but the Lower Brand reached out and they actually came up with a bunch of new designs for kind of my barbells and bushcraft type thing, as well as reworking some of the old Die Empty stuff. So really you're looking at a bunch of new colors, a bunch of new designs, a bunch of really cool stuff that they came up with. So I cannot thank the Loyal Brand enough for just putting so much time and effort into this, guys. If you guys are looking for new t-shirts, I know there's a lot of you that are, they will be coming out hopefully within 2 weeks. Now, announcement part two is that I know many of you have been doing my $25 Power Builder or 4 Horsemen programs, and you should be just about coming up to the end. But do not worry, my friend, I'm getting ready to release the next $25 program, and this one is actually going to be the Mass Builder. Now, if you are a fan of the Power Builder and what it did to you, the Mass Builder is going to work very, very well. It just ups the frequency, ups the reps, ups the time on retention, has a little bit more focus on actually building mass, but have no doubt it will absolutely get you stronger. You can get a lot of technique work in that as well. However, I've been getting a ton of emails from a lot of my strongman brethren who have just been asking me, hey man, I really like the programs. However, are you ever gonna release something for a strongman gym, for someone who has strongman implements? And yes, right around the exact same time that I released that $25 Mass Builder, I'm also gonna release a $25 strongman Power Builder, where if you don't have access to strongman equipment, then it's not gonna be any good to you. It's gonna be full of logs and sandbags and kegs and yokes and crazy things like that, but it's so much fun. So for all of you who are looking for that, I will be coming out with a $25 option for you guys as well. All right, so on to the training. Now, I'm gonna overlay some of my early sets here, nothing that gets too important. When it gets a little more important, I'm gonna switch over to talking more about that. But since it is a training video, that means we have a question day where I love to get your guys' responses in the comment section, just so I can kind of get an idea of who is out there and what you guys care about. So, question for today is, if you had to get rid of one of the big 4 lifts, the squat, the bench, the deadlift, overhead press, what are you getting rid of and why? Now for me personally, this isn't that hard of a question because since I'm a competitive strongman, we do not compete with the bench press, but we do compete in the overhead press, so the easy answer would be bench press. However, at this stage of my life, and the reason why I lift is not so much anymore chasing world records or trying to be a world champion or anything like that, but it's more about staying as healthy and as good and as athletic as I can be for as long as possible. And not only that, but I want to focus on things that help me do the everyday tasks that I have to do living in a wilderness type of area, like firewood or me building the log cabin and things like that. So when I think about those tasks and what I'm asked to do every single day, the squat makes a lot of sense, the deadlift makes a lot of sense, of course, even the overhead makes a lot of sense because I'm always pressing something above my head or doing the finger on logs or something like that. However, I have never laid down on the ground, rolled a log on top of my chest, and then tried to push it off me. So again, I think for what I actually do, bench press is the easy answer for me on what to cut. That said, there is no way that I'm gonna be cutting the bench press out of my routine because I am 40 years old and I don't want flabby pecs, and it does absolutely help my overhead press. So bench is staying in, but this hypothetical question for me, if I had to give one up for the rest of my life, sorry bench, you gotta go. But I am super excited to hear what each one of you would give up. So if you guys do want to participate, down in the comment section below, let me know what of the big 4 you would give up and why. Thanks guys. And now we train. That's where we're hoping there's no spiders in the log. All right, so today's session began with some conditioning where at the top of every minute, for 10 minutes, I was performing 3 sprawl sandbag over shoulders. And all that pretty much means is instead of doing a burpee, I was sprawling on the sandbag the same way you do in jiu-jitsu or in MMA or in wrestling, and then I would scoop the sandbag up and throw it over my shoulder. Now, if you guys train any sort of combat sport yourself, or you are a football or rugby player where you need to wrap people up, this is an excellent exercise for you or any other athletes that you might work with that are involved in some sort of sport like that. Not to mention the fact that they are brutally hard and work as an excellent warm-up / conditioning session to prime, because today's giant set was going to be the weighted pull-up to the log clean and press to the windshield wiper. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with log in that it loves me because I hate it. Ever since I had my shoulder surgery, the log front rack position has been a really, really weak spot for that shoulder. Not that I was particularly good at the log prior to this. I could actually do almost 100 pounds more with an axle than I can a log. So it's something that I really need to work on, and to be honest with you guys, I don't think I've touched the log. That's not true. I did touch the log one time, but I was doing viper presses. I was not doing the clean and press. So this is actually probably the first time that I've done the log clean and press in over a year. So it is not about weight. It is much more about technique and just trying to get back in the flow of things. Now, I have actually had some very good overhead press days. In the recent past, I've been able to do a strict press at 225 pounds, which is right around my body weight, for a set of 7. And then the next week I turned around and I did 225 sitting on my butt as a Z press. So both those were really, really good markers for me and just showing me that I've been doing better. But I haven't done anything involving leg drive, especially not with an implement as cumbersome as the log. So today was going to be a good type of kind of fact-finding mission to see where I was. Now, to be honest with you guys, none of these clean and presses really felt that spectacular. It felt very similar to any time you grab something you haven't touched in a year and then you start playing around with it, and your brain knows what to do and it's trying to tell your body what to do, but your body is just not responding the way that it used to. And so there's definitely that disconnect, which is what I'm experiencing, and it feels very clunky and cumbersome, and like I don't really know what I do. I feel like the groove above my head, I am off. I'm not pressing to a good position. I feel like the clean is off and I'm not using my full body to get the log up there. I feel like I'm doing more of a big clean than anything else. So there is a lot here that I'm going to want to work on and just kind of clean up as time comes. However, I will say that kind of the first time touching again, it went better than I thought it would. I was actually able to work up to 260 pounds beltless for a double, which is not bad. It was not pretty by any means. However, I know for sure with a little bit more work, and even if I throw in a belt, I know 270, 275 there with ease. So that actually feels pretty good to know. So I'm just gonna keep working it and see what happens. And I almost forgot to mention the windshield wiper. So this is just an oblique exercise, and it's actually something that I haven't done for a while because I could not find a good place to do it here in my garage home gym. So I just ended up lowering one of the matadors, one of the handles for the dips, got way out on the edge and just kind of hung upside down, and it ended up working out great. So I would highly encourage you to do those, but make sure that you have a strong core if you're gonna try corkscrewing back and forth that fast, because you can definitely jack yourself up a little bit. Now, as far as my assistants go, I did 4 rounds of the following giant set. I started out with 10 grenade pull-ups, and the only difference between grenade pull-ups and regular pull-ups is that you're holding on to 2-inch balls, which makes it harder to grip and arguably makes the pull-ups harder, but probably not really. And then from there, I went to an upside down kettlebell waiter's walk. I walked 50 feet with my left, turned around, came back with my right, turned back around, walked out 50 feet with my left, turned around and brought it on back with my right. From there, I moved on to 25 reps of T-bar rows. Now, I rested probably about 90 seconds after that, ran through it again, and did it 3 more times. I will say that if you've never tried doing a waiter's walk with an inverted kettlebell, you should try it because it is super challenging, not only on your shoulders, but also for your grip, and it's a really good exercise to add in. Then finally, I finished off the day with 3 more supersets of dips and face pulls, where I was doing 30 reps of each, just back and forth with 0 rest. Got it done 3 rounds of it, and then that was pretty much it for my day. I was pretty well shot. So overall, it really was not a bad day. I feel okay about the log clean and press. Of course, I would like to be heavier than 260, but you know what? For my first time back touching it, the form wasn't quite as good as I would have liked, but hey, it was better than I probably deserve. So I can't say that I'm terribly upset about it. I'm super pumped about the shirts coming out. I'm also super pumped about giving you guys out some new programming. Every single time that I release a new program, it really is a cool little time because so many new people come to the channel and come talk to me and speak to me, or people who've been here forever that just are trying to support and stuff. So it's always a really cool interaction time. It always makes me feel really good about myself. So I'm selfishly looking forward to that. But I do thank you guys so much. I will hopefully catch up with you guys later in the week. Until I do, go out something amazing. Realize, keep working hard, people. Be nice to each other, please. I'll see you then.